Hello, I'm Dr. Samantha Durland, and welcome to another episode of, well, we'll just call it Facebook Live here. Today, we're doing it up from my office up here in the corner of the Wellness Center, and it's really fun up here. You can see a lot from up here, but it gets really bright at times. So today what we're going to talk about is the same format like we did last time, where number one, we're going to talk about some of our upcoming events. Number two, we're going to talk about some wellness myths that we'll hopefully try to straighten out. And number three, lastly, we'll take time to answer any questions that people have. And throughout the week, you're always welcome to write in, let us know what questions you have that you want answered, and then we can go over them whenever you want. So here we go. So talking about events that we have that are upcoming, number one, Mindy is started for our massage, and she started this last week with her dog Shadow, and it was really fun. And so if anyone needs a massage, just know that she's here for you, and we're really, really excited to add her to our team. So she's visually impaired, so that's why her dog Shadow is with her. So if you're allergic to dogs, let us know. And then the other thing too is that we have our Secret RF party coming up, and that is we have a new machine called the Secret RF. It uses microneedling and radio frequency to help with fine lines and wrinkles and acne scars and effects of sun aging. And it's awesome because there's minimal downtime associated with it, and it's really effective. So I'm super excited about that. And then, and this weekend I'm super excited about Simple Sundays, and it's the first time that we're doing a little event from 10 to 12 on Sunday morning down in the Wellness Center. And it is there to help us kind of just like listen to your body when you exercise, because so many times you go to the gym or you do something that you think you should do, but what if your body is telling you to do something different? So I constantly encourage folks to listen to their body, because if you do more what your body tells you to do, then you actually have a better balance of your stress and you have better outcomes in your day and how you feel. So we are doing some mobility work, then we're doing boxing, and then we're finishing it up with some sound yoga with Kathy Damron, and she's amazing. And it's just super fun. So I'm so excited to be able to, I'm just excited to do it myself because it's going to be super great. So that kind of leads us into what we were talking about in the wellness myths that we're going to discuss today. And then again, we're going to follow it up with some questions. And if we have time at the end of the office, I will show you where I spend a lot of my day, which is actually in the bathroom in the office, because that's where I put all of my work and all of my ideas, because I tend to just put sticky notes everywhere and I just think everywhere, and I have all these pictures, including the placenta of my second child. Not just a picture, not the actual placenta, because that would be a whole new adventure of itself. Okay, so the first wellness myth we're going to talk about is, can you, if as I age and my skin changes, that's just what happens. Like, I have to accept it, specifically of the leg. Now, I love taking these things that we do and kind of figuring out new ways of doing them and twisting them around and seeing exactly what we can make happen. So I decided that if this Secret RF can work on my face and my neck, surely it might also help with my leg. So I'll show you pictures at some point in time, but they're not all done yet. And I thought I would show you my leg today, but then I thought, I don't think anyone wants to look at my leg like this. But so what we did is we're doing an experiment where I left this leg alone, and then I am Secret RFing the top of this leg, because when you stand up, what you see is that your skin, as you age, starts sagging down, and then you get these little wrinkles here, and the skin starts looking weird. So I was like, I wonder if I Secret RF my leg, then my skin won't fall down, and it will look different. And lo and behold, I laid there. It took maybe about 15 to 20 minutes to do one leg, and I took pictures, of which when we're all done, I'll show you all the pictures. And so it did not, it hurt. It didn't hurt. It's mildly uncomfortable, but my leg looks really good now, and it's super soft to touch. Now, soft to touch, you can't see. You just have to take my word for it, but just know that it happens. So the goal over time is that I can show you with our fun new little machine that you can, almost like a snake, totally resurface your whole body, and it's awesome. But I just love starting with my legs because I look down at them. And when my skin changes, it kind of irritates me a little bit. So by doing the Secret, it helps. So I just wanted you to know that. And then the next thing I want to talk about is how a lot of times when I bring up boxing, people think, oh, that is such a violent sport. And I just think about it in a different way. So I really just kind of want to talk about that in honor of this weekend. So our new blog post is on the website, and it kind of goes to what we're going to talk about now. So how I got into boxing is my brain just thinks really super fast a lot of times, and so you never know how to slow it down until you actually get it slowed. And boxing was one of the exercises or one of the activities I could do that I could finally slow my brain down to know it could be done. So there was one time I was at a boxing class, and there was our boxing instructor was Mike McAtee, but he's moved to Colorado. And so there was another boy in the class that was doing this masters thing where basically it's as an adult, you go and you fight other people in the ring. And I thought, if that boy can do it, then I'd like to do it too, because I really like to eat good and exercise and challenge myself. So I decided to try. So for 3 years, I boxed for 7 years, and we would do like small group boxing and boxing, so I box about 5 hours a week. But the closer you get to your match, then you spar and you do more higher intensity activities. So I have never sparred before, so that was an adventure. So with boxing, when you really think about it, it taught me a lot about modulating my stress response. So what the heck does that mean? Okay, so when you stand in the ring and someone comes at you and hits you in the head, it's just a little startling, especially when you're not used to it. And I am not really used to that. So the first time I got into the ring and sparred someone, she just kept doing lots of 1, 2, 3s, and I actually got a black eye because I remember sitting there thinking, but I had gear and everything on, but I remember sitting there going, why is she hitting me? Just like it was like so foreign to me. And so at the end I went home and I had this black eye and I was just like, ugh, I'm so disappointed in myself. So all weekend long, you look in the mirror, you see your black eye, you're disappointed in yourself, and you start saying, I think I'm gonna have to start fighting back. And so ultimately I fought in 3 amateur bouts. And the other exciting thing I had to learn about myself is I believe I may be what you call dense. So I have a little bit more muscle mass than a lot of people do, just because that's how my body's put together. So when you're growing up, my dad called me big boned. And so to a young girl, that just makes me feel like, okay, he's just calling me big and trying to be nice about it. But as I've aged, it just means I can lift heavy weights, and that's so fun. Because lifting heavy weights, you can do cool things with, or so I think. But when you are in boxing, if I'm dense, boxing is about how much you weigh in your weight class. So I weigh about 140 pounds, but I'm about 5'1" or 5'2". So you have to fight taller people. Well, you can imagine that the taller people have longer arms and they're taller. So I'm like this short person. So I had to kind of learn how to use my body to box against these taller, thinner bodies with longer arms, which just means I had to get inside. And then the other thing too that they had to do is I started taping on the heavy bag like high, because I had to like punch up to get my shoulders get my delts built up enough so that I could have I always feel like I have really good endurance, but I could have even more endurance in punching up, because you just have to get used to that, which means your shoulders have to be stronger. So there was also one time when I was training for boxing that I dislocated my left shoulder because Mike, our teacher, am I rambling too much? This is so fun. Is it okay? I'm rambling a lot, but I'm just telling stories about my life because I think it's really fun about boxing, and it all has to do with this weekend. And at the end of the whole story, I win my belt, which is so fun. But anyway, I dislocated my shoulder. I dislocated my shoulder for my 40th birthday. And how did I do that? Okay, my boxing coach, Mike, was yelling at me to hit him, because back to my stress response, fighting back and hitting people in the head can feel a little weird sometimes. And so he kept yelling at me and yelling at me and yelling at me. And literally, he yelled at me for 7 years to hit him in the head, and finally I started hitting him in the head. And but when he was hollering at me to do that, and I got so passionate about doing what he told me to do that I swung from my shoulder instead of swinging from my hip. And I remember my shoulder literally coming out, and then it came right back into my chest, and it sat there. It was so weird, because I initially thought about Lethal Weapon, because Mel Gibson, always dislocates his shoulder, and I thought, I wonder if someone can slam my shoulder against the wall and it'll flip back in. But then I asked everyone around me, and no one said that they would do it. So it didn't hurt at first, but when you look down, it's so weird when your shoulder is right here. So I ended up going to the hospital, they reset it, but I was back in the gym about 4 days later, because I didn't want the fact that my shoulder was dislocated to make me not be in shape or lose my endurance. So I just didn't wrap my left hand, but I wrapped my right hand, and I would still do all my leg exercises, and I just did a lot of like right hands, and I could start kind of jabbing, but when I threw a left hook, it really taught me from the pain how to throw better, because when I threw the wrong way, it hurt really bad, and when I threw the right way from my hip, it stopped hurting. So although I did dislocate my shoulder trying to do all of these things, it was a really actually good learning experience for me, because it taught me how to punch from my hip and actually force generate from my foot, not from my shoulder. And it also taught me what it's like to dislocate a part of your body. It was uncomfortable, but gosh, love it. My body's regenerative and it's all fine. So during all my amateur boxing experiences, the other thing I learned by watching people in the ring is if you stand in the ring and you go as fast as you can for 3 minutes, you get super tired. And I watched just fear in the ring over and over and over again. So on top of learning about my own body and about having to work against another person's body that's built different, I had to understand more about motion and moving, and I also had to understand how to pace myself and my stress response and not be scared, because I had to teach myself how not to be scared to get hit in the head, how not to be scared if I got hit in the head a few times and I hadn't hit back. Just don't be scared, dig deep, take a deep breath, and just keep going, because when you quit, you never go when you quit, that doesn't solve anything. And so after being all these experiences too, I would say that I watch boxing matches now, and you can almost watch people when they get in the ring and how they feel, and you can see fear in some people and not in the others, and how boxing is really a game of the mind to me. It's a game of wills, and so if you keep at it and keep going, eventually you can win. So I have done 3 amateur bouts, and the first 2 I honestly lost. It's not because I didn't train hard or eat really good or get my body fat down or weigh in. It was more because the first time I had to learn how to punch up. The second time, I don't know what it was about, but I remember getting in the car and driving home and just telling myself, I don't want to lose again. So then I went back to the gym, and I put the tape on the ring and started doing all this stuff, and I won this rockin' awesome belt the 3rd time around. And so I just remember watching the gal that I was fighting, because she fought before me, another gal, and just watching how she did it and just starting to understand about don't be scared, you get in there, move your body around, do the best you can. And it was really a great moment for me, because it made me feel like I didn't have to be so scared about everything anymore, because I stood up and I did it. So anyway, I would just say that if people think that boxing is all about this brutal thing about trying to punch each other out, it's about more than that. It's about not being afraid. It's about learning to fight back. And I also have to say too, when I would spar, I had to go, my sparring partners were these kids at Turner Boxing Club in Kansas City, and they were so kind to me, and they taught me so much. Could you imagine going to a school with these kids that have boxed like their whole life, and they just include you as this middle-aged woman? And when I was 41, my sparring partner was 14, and he could literally smoke me because he's so awesome. And then when I come back to Lawrence, I'd box these other boys, and I remember telling one, "Oh, you are so cute." And what happened? Yeah, he hit me 3 times in the head. And after that, I realized I don't think I should call boys that I'm sparring sweet, because it doesn't warrant any positive results on my end. So anyway, that is what boxing means to me. It's just a really amazing sport that it's one of the hardest endurance things I think that I've ever had to do. It taught me to slow my mind down, and it taught me to fight back. So I'm so excited this weekend to have John Brown. John Brown started Ringside Boxing, and Marcus, who is a Golden Gloves champion, who has has worked with John for a super long time, because when I go to Kansas City and box with him, Marcus is an amazing teacher, and he's kind, and I mean, he just lifts you up. So I'm excited to share this experience with people. So, and then sound yoga is amazing too, because you lay there and you feel the sound go through your body while you relax. And so when you do boxing first, and then you lay down, you truly relax and you feel centered. And it's so hard sometimes to feel that way. But once your brain can start to understand that it can get there, it likes to stay there, and it will keep trying to get you there. So the myths, I guess, today, like we talked about, would be, number 1, that it's impossible for you to regenerate the skin of your body, especially your legs. it can be done. And then that boxing is this gladiator sport. No, there's so much more there. And if you just know the stories behind all these people and all these kids, it's really amazing. So I just wanted to offer a different opinion to that. So now we get to the questions. So Lauren, do we have any questions? And before she even asks the questions, I would like to show you the smoking awesome phone we have today. An Incredibles phone, my friends. Yes, the calls come in on the Incredibles phone. So Lauren, do we have any calls?
We do. We have a call. We've had a number of people compliment you on your skin about and asking what you've done and ask about, if it's the Secret RF and how it felt and what the experience was like for you.
Okay, so
we'll get nice and close to your beautiful skin.
So, what I tell everyone for skincare, and every time I try to think about the body, I try to think like, if I was the skin, what would I think? So the Secret RF, I totally love. We have a lot of different types of equipments and procedures that we can do for folks, but this one is amazing. And I think it really will help a lot of people because it works and there's minimal downtime. And people just don't want other people to know what they're up to. And people don't have time not to be out and about. And this meets both those requirements. And it is for all different skin types, because some people have what's called hyperpigmentation, meaning if they get injured, they make dark spots. Well, I totally get hyperpigmentation when I get injured. So, like, I jumped on a boat and I got a big bruise and it turns brown, or where I get my IV, it turns brown. But this particular device has a way of doing things that it prevents that from happening, and it also, like I said, has minimal downtime. So I've done a CO2 laser to my face a couple of times, and then I've also done the Secret RF. So the Secret RF totally was much more comfortable. You put local numbing medicine on top of it, and then you lay and I did my face and my neck. And a lot of times you'll do it about 3 times over to the same area, but you could do it once too, because every time you do it, you are stimulating your body to regenerate itself. I also encourage folks to do collagen powder too, and collagen powder is just giving your body the ingredients to repair itself on top of its normal healing. And then I also encourage people to have a really good skin product. So I use our Epionce cream, and then I also use the collagen powder, but the amazing procedure that we have is a Secret RF, and I'm excited to use it not only on the face and then on the neck and on the chest, but it helps stretch marks of your stomach go away. It helps with your skin just as it ages, as it moves. Like, you can do it your arms and your legs. So be adventuresome with where you want to use it, because it works everywhere.
Wonderful.
Yay.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay, so we look forward to seeing everyone on November 28th, Wednesday, at our event, and the opportunity to win the grand prize at our Secret RF event. The next question that we have is about boxing, and it's about this Sunday. And this gal is asking, do you have to have boxing experience, or kind of what are the stipulations when you attend, or what do you need to bring with you when you come to a Simple Sunday?
So the only thing you need to bring is, I would bring some wraps, and then you could bring gloves. And it doesn't matter like what type of gloves that you bring, you can get any type. And so it's for all different ages, men and women, and all different expertise. Because the cool thing that you'll see about boxing too is you can have beginners in a class, and then you can have really advanced people in the class. So when you go do mitts with people, you can either just do jabs, or you can do 1-2, or you can do all these different combinations, but nobody makes anyone feel goofy or bad. And it is just so fun, because every time you go, it lifts you up and you become better and better and better. And the sound of hitting those mitts is so fun. It's just so fun. I love that sound. And so again, some people love boxing, some people may not, but anyone is invited, and all you have to bring is wraps and gloves.
Awesome. So there's still time to go on Amazon Prime and order your boxing gloves and your wraps for Sunday. There's
Absolutely.
still time.
Still time. And if you need wraps, you can always go to Dick's to get them here in Lawrence. I mean, there's tons of places in Kansas City that you can get them. I think they have gloves too, probably at Dick's. And then you can always go to like Tidal in Kansas City, or Ringside has a store in Kansas City that you can go get really good gloves in. And you don't have to spend a ton of money on them or anything, but they're kind of fun, like snazzy shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super colorful.
Excellent. And
Yes.
then a request to see your office.
Yes. Would you like to see the placenta? I just think that's really fun for people. And of course, I'm really into talking today, so we'll have to tell you. So I will show you the bathroom. And the reason that you may be like, this is so weird that she spends so much time in her bathroom. If you can see all the windows around, everyone could just look up here all the time. And sometimes you just feel like my means of processing may need to remain confined. So by putting all these things in the bathroom, it helps. So let me go show you.
All right.
Okay.
You want me to turn it on a little bit? Yeah, there we go.
Is it on?
Yep.
So the other thing too I tell folks is that if you put pictures of your family around, maybe you don't have too many of those things like right there, because let me see. I don't even know what those are. But anyway, if you put pictures of your family around, then it really helps give you inspiration about why you do what you do. So I made these little memory boards for myself of my kids and my husband and positive memories. So to remind me when I come in. But I just have to show you the placenta because I'm pretty sure not many Facebook Lives have a placenta. So when I was born, when I was pregnant with my second son, my placenta was weird. It was what's called a vasa previa, so it had 2 lobes and the vessels transversed the membranes and my cord inserted right next to my cervix, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, it was just a dangerous situation. But this is it. So this is one half of the lobe, and that's the other lobe, and then membranes in the middle, and then all the vessels and the cord inserted on the edge. So basically, this was a stressful time of my life because you just don't know if he's going to be okay or not. But he was okay, and I tell him every day that he's here for a reason. So anyway, that's the picture of the placenta. And if you ever come into the office and want to see it, boom, I've got it laminated. And they have all these other pictures of the kids. So anyway, and all these piles. And sticky notes all over the shower. Because that's what I think. I just make all these little sticky notes, and I put them everywhere, and then I rearrange them. So it's super messy, but that's how I think. So any other questions?
We also have a question that just came across. So folks really loved the Inflammacore, the vanilla chai flavor. Wondering, do we have anything fun or a good flavor that's coming up for winter?
Oh yeah. So we also have chocolate, and it just so happens that I have all the protein powders in the office because I do eat them like every day. So, so this is a vanilla chai.
Vanilla chai.
And
okay.
Listen, it's empty. Why? Yeah, I eat it every day, like I tell folks, because everything that we talk about here, we try to do ourselves. So when I eat this stuff, my stomach feels so good. Okay.
And then our winter flavor
is chocolate mint.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. And when you mix this with the whey, if you don't have a milk allergy and you can have whey, when you do the chocolate mint, when you do the chocolate whey, it tastes like a brownie with a little hint of mint. It is so smoking good. So really a great idea for the winter months because yay for those flavors.
All right.
And any other questions, Lauren?
I think that's all that we had come across.
Well, this was super fun, and I hope that you guys enjoyed another great day. And we will be back next Wednesday, although it's right before Thanksgiving. So if you happen to be driving or flying or sitting in the airport or whatever else it is, you can always tune in. So have a great week. And again, if you have questions over the week, just let us know.